Okay, so this kit is a lot of fun. This is for Guess How Much I Love You by Sam McBratney. And um, I almost guarantee that a lot of the kids in your class have read this book with their parents or guardians and probably with their teacher too. But this is such a classic book that it can be read to them many, many times, and it still is a very, very nice book to read to the kiddos, and they really like it. Basically, Guess How Much I Love You is a book about big nut brown hair and little nut brown hair, and they are a daddy and a baby bunny. And they just are the whole book going back and forth about who loves each other more. And they use various forms of measurement or estimation to show each other. So one time they throw out their hands and they say, I love you this much. And it's cute, but it's also a form of measuring. And so it is a great opportunity to teach about that. And so at the end of it, you can talk to the kids about, how did they measure in the book? How did they use different things to measure how much they loved each other? And it's a theoretical measuring, but also you could do physical measuring. And so you talk about, well, they used their arms to measure, and he used his ears, which to us would be the top of our head to the bottom of our toes. And he used from here to the river and back, and to the moon and back. And so what we're going to do is we are going to use measuring tapes to actually measure. One of the things that we measure is their wingspan, which is how far apart their arms are from fingertip to fingertip. And so you will explain what a wingspan is to the kids and tell them that your wingspan is an approximation, and that's a good opportunity for a vocabulary word. Ask them what approximation means. An approximation is a guess, or it is about how much. And so approximately a wingspan is how tall you are. It's a good measurement for how tall you probably are. And so you will split the class up into 4 groups as evenly as you can. And how I do this is when they're sitting in a circle, I number them off. And so I go, so if there's 4 kids, my fingers are 4 kids, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the 5th kid, I start over, and they're 1, 2, 3, 4. And so if you're a 1, you'll be in the 1s group. If you're a 2, you are in the 2s group. 3s go in the 3s group. 4s go in the 4s group. And this is the best way to get them evenly divided. And so once they're evenly divided, you will give them, each group, 1 tape measure. And we have 2 big tape measures like this. And we also have a smaller version like this. And they're both very kid-friendly. And you will give all 4 groups a different measuring tape, and they will use them to measure each other's wingspan. And this definitely needs a little bit of guidance, so I would shoot your teacher a quick email before you go in and tell them that this is going to need a lot of guidance, and you can help 2 groups, and she can help 2 groups, and just help make sure that they're measuring the wingspan from fingertip to fingertip and that everyone gets a turn. And then after we measure everyone's wingspan, we'll measure their actual height from the top of their head to their toes to see how their wingspan's measured up and compare the 2. And then once they're all done with that group activity, then they'll come back to the carpet, and we have another activity, which is this cotton ball jar. And this is another way of measuring, estimating how many cotton balls are in this jar. And so you will introduce the cotton ball jar and say, okay, so we talked about measuring. What is another way we can measure? And then you will discuss that estimating is another way of measuring. And so when you estimate, you look at it and you really think about what could be in this jar. How many could actually fit? And so you really think about it and you make your best guess. And so the best guess for this, what do you think? And so, you really have the kids take into consideration that cotton balls can squish down real far and just things like that. Really have the kids think about why so many cotton balls could fit in, and why there could be so many in there. And then you take their estimations. You could, if you have time, you could take everybody's estimations. If not, that's not a big deal. You can take just a few. Just take a few good guesses. But make sure you tell them that you want their best guesses. Or you'll get silly answers like 100 million, So make sure you tell them you want their best guesses. There are actually 60 cotton balls in this jar. It has the answer right there on the lid. And you can tell the kids that, and that will be your last group activity. And then you can sing your goodbye song and head on out.